非常的累的时候，我就会呢用弹这个吉他了。Love me tender, love me true, never let me go.Hi
everyone, welcome to Enjoy English School. I'm Steven.
I'm Minnie.
Okay, so today is March 2nd. We're on day 2 of the same topic from yesterday, entertainment, the magician on the Skywalk.
那我们今天3月2号呢，跟昨天的主题是一样的哦，天桥上的魔术师。
Step back in time to visit Taipei in the 1980s.
回到往昔，让我们一起造访1980年代的台北。
And once again, please refer to pages 8 to 11.
8到11页。
Okay, let's get started. The set, acting, and costumes create a convincing image of Taipei in the 1980s.
那本剧的场景、演出跟服装创造出台北在1980年代的逼真景象。
Right, so what's the difference between costumes and normal clothes?Right? So costumes are usually clothes that you use for a specific or special reason. In this situation, it's clothes that you use for a movie. It's not real clothes that you wear every day. It's because it's for a movie. It has special purpose, so it's a costume. Okay? And also, it's something that you wear to kind of become someone else, which is what actors do.
所以 costume 这个字跟我们平常日常的穿着不一样的，就是在当你穿 costume 的时候，它就特别指出你不是平常穿那样，可能是为了演戏啊，或者可能为了特殊的节日，例如像是演员，他们可能就会为了场景、角色设定而去穿 costume， 或者是我们在 Halloween 的时候，我们可能想要当 Princess Anna。
Yes, Princess Elsa or Anna, right?
Yeah.
So those are costumes. There's also another word, uniform. Okay, 就是制服 U-N-I-F-O-R-M.So what's a convincing image? Convincing, this adjective, it means that it's really persuading people to believe something. Okay, so it's really persuading people to believe that this is Taipei in the 1980s.
所以 convince 这个字本来的动词，它其实是说服的意思。那我们加了 ing 变成是很有说服力的，我们也可以翻译成逼真的。
The original Tonghua Market was completed in 1961, and it quickly became a cultural landmark in the city.
那最初的这个中华商场在1961年的时候竣工，并且迅速的成为台北的文化地标。
So what do we mean by a landmark? Okay, this noun means it's an object or a landscape or a building that is easily recognizable from afar. Okay, from a far distance. Okay, and usually these things it kind of is like the personality or part of the personality of a city or an area. For Taipei, you could say that 101 is a very important landmark because you can see it from afar, and then right away you know that's Taipei.
所以 landmark 这个字呢，代表着可能一个城市的态度、精神，从远远的地方就可以看到它。所以老师刚刚举例说，台北的 landmark 可能就是台北101，因为你从远的地方就看得到它。
那我刚刚说 from afar， 这个 afar 是 A-F-A-R， 就是说从远的距离来看。Okay, from afar. Okay, the complex was made up of 8 connected 3-story cement buildings, which were located along the current Zhonghua Road near Taipei's Ximending shopping area.
那在这边我们又看到昨天学到的 complex 这个字，综合商场。所以这个综合商场呢，它是由8栋相连的3层楼混凝土的建筑物所组成。那位于现在的中华路上，也就是我们熟悉的西门町商圈。
Right, so made up of, it means that 是这些东西组成起来的。We could also say composed of. The complex was composed of 8 connected 3-story cement buildings. 那 compose 是 C-O-M-P-O-S-E. 那这个 situation 我们加一个 D, composed of 8 connected 3-story. 那这个 3-story 不是说3个故事 right? Story can also mean like
楼层
right? So 3-story cement building means that these buildings are made of cement or composed of cement, and they are 3 stories high.
那在这边我们这一课会学到蛮多个跟组成相关的片语。第一个就出现啦 make up of， 它就是组成。那通常呢，我们这边的句子它是用 was made up of， 它是用被动语态的方法写的。那后面我们会看到其他的。然后这边我们看到这个 3 story 中间有一个杠杠，对不对？所以我们昨天有讲过10 episode 是10集。那今天的 3 story 叫做3层楼，当形容词使用。
Yes, and these buildings were located along the current Zhonghua Road. Okay, so we're saying that along, this preposition is helping us picture that these buildings are along this road. 沿着这个条街. Okay, and it's located near Taipei's Ximending shopping area. From the 1960s through the 1980s, Zhonghua Market was the first place that came to mind for shopping in Taipei.
那从1960年代呢到1980年代，中华商场是每个人在台北逛街购物心中的一个指标。哎，你今天要去哪里购物？中华商场啊的感觉。
That's right. So 1960s through the 1980s. Why can we say through the 1980s? That means that from 1980 all the way until 1989, that this Chonghua Market was really popular during this whole time period. So through the 1980s means all the years of the 80s.
所以当我们看到 through 这个字的时候，我们就有一种贯穿的感觉，就代表它中间不停歇哦，一直从60到80都那么夯。
Yes. All right. So another thing that I want to bring attention to is if there is a specified year, like let's say that Chonghua Market was only popular until 1988. Okay, we give a specified year. Then we can't say through the 1988. No, because that's a specified year. So we have to say from the 1960s until 1988. Okay, so you have to really pay attention to these words that come before the time. Okay, so, or you have to first know the specified time. If it's a specified time, say until that year. But if it's like through a whole time period, you can say through that time period.
所以在这边我们用 through 是代表贯穿，我们刚刚有提过。如果你只是要说到可能1988年，那我们这时候如果到特定的年份的时候，我们就不能用 through 了，我们就必须要把 through 改成 until 直到的意思。
All right, so when something comes to mind, that means that this thing is
想到
yeah, something that you think of. Okay, so first thing that comes to mind or first place that comes to mind is the first place that you think of when someone says shopping, like what Minnie also was saying. Okay,
Yes.
so what comes to mind when I say Taiwanese food?
Stinky tofu.
Okay, so that's the first thing that comes to her mind. Okay, 她第一个会想到的东西。However, the lively market was torn down in 1992 due to an urban renewal project.
不过这样子热闹的这个商场，我们这边指的商场当然就是中华商场，在因为都市更新计划的时候，在1992年的时候就已经被拆除了。
Right, so lively, this adjective means just a lot of people are there. It's very noisy in a good way, and a lot of people are excited, are happy. That's what a lively place is. But it's torn down, okay, taken down. You can also say that as well. Or destroyed, okay, D-E-S-T-R-O-Y-E-D, destroyed in 1992 due to an urban, and we talked about this word yesterday, it means like a city area, an urban renewal project. Now, renewal in this case means that they're replacing this, or they're renovating it, or they're making it better, okay, so they're urban renewal project.
所以这个都跟在这边我们英文翻译就有啦，renew 这个字哦，然后在这边老师刚刚还有讲到这个 torn down， 对不对 ？torn 要注意一下它动词三态是 T-E-A-R-T-O-R-E 跟 T-O-R-N 这个字还蛮重要的，大家要特别记得。
Tear down, tore down, or
torn down.
All right, let's take a short break. The art director of The Magician on the Skywalk, Wang Chi-cheng, I don't know, I think as an American I would say Wang Chi-cheng.
Okay.
Yeah, if I saw C-H-I-H. Okay. Who worked on the box office hit Detention, is responsible for reconstructing the Chonghua Market.
那本剧的美术指导王志成负责中华商场的这个再现，那他也曾就是效力于在这个卖座的电影叫做《返校》之中。
It's a really popular movie, right? So, like, as an American, because I don't see the Chinese, so I really would not know how to read that.
志成
Yeah, Wang Zhicheng. Okay, Wang Qicheng. Okay. So what is the art director? The art director is different from the movie director, the main director, because they are in charge of all the art of the movie, like the props, the background. So that's what the art director is. Okay, so he's a very popular one.
Yeah, 美术指导的意思，它跟一般的这个 director、一般的导演是不一样的。美术的话，就可能跟背景啊、道具啊等等相关，很细节的东西。
Yeah, so what is a box office hit? Let's first say what a box office is. Box office is a place in a movie theater where you buy the tickets.
买票的地方，售票口，我们就叫 box office.
Right, but when we say a box office hit, we mean that it's a movie that's very commercially successful.
就代表它卖出很多票的这种电影，我们就叫做卖座电影，我们就会叫 box office hit.
So this Wang Zhicheng
Yes.
is responsible for 就是他是负责
负责
reconstructing the Chonghua market. So this is like rebuilding that we talked about the other day. Reconstruction, right? So rebuilding, reconstruction, this is like they're redoing this Chonghua market. They're rebuilding it. Okay.
Yeah.
In addition to the magnificent set, the crew worked hard to recreate elements of the era, such as clothing, music, and consumer goods.
I love the word magnificent.
Yes.
Yeah. 除了精致细腻的场景以外，剧组也极力重现当时这个年代的各种元素，例如像服装、音乐跟消费性的产品。
Right, so when we see in addition to something, that means that we're giving more information, right? So we already talked about the set, and here they're using that really good adjective, magnificent, amazing set, fascinating set. So in addition to this information, they're also going to share more information about this movie and the crew. The crew worked hard to recreate. Here we see again R-E. Okay, that means that because 重新, we know that we're going to do something again. All right, they're recreating elements of the era. What are elements? Elements by themselves, 元素. It can be like fire, earth, water, whatever. Those are elements, yes. But when we say elements of something, that means that we're taking aspects or parts of something, okay? So aspects is A-S-P-E-C-T. Okay, so what is an era? It means a time period.
Era.
Okay, 一段时间, all right, such as clothing, music, and consumer goods. What are consumer goods? Those are goods that are bought by consumers, such as soap or clothes are consumer goods as well. As long as you can use money to buy these things, those are consumer goods.
所以在这边 good good 是好，但加了 s 之后变成一个商品，所以 consumer goods 就代表我们生活日常用品，我们就可以说是 consumer goods.
Exactly. All right, let's take a short break. The series, which took 5 years to complete, was directed by award-winning filmmaker Yang Ye-che.
这出电视剧呢，历时5年的时间制作。那它是由一个多次获奖的导演杨雅哲操刀。
Okay, so here, which took 5 years to complete. When something takes some time, we will say take an amount of time. Okay, we use the verb take. Okay, 花时间, right? So we don't really need this information in the sentence. The main sentence is the series was directed by award-winning filmmaker Yang Ye-che. But whenever we have these commas, we know that there's additional information that's being given, okay? But it's not part of the main sentence. But it's good to know this information, right? Okay, so award-winning, this adjective, it means that this filmmaker, this person who makes these films, he has won awards in the past. He has won a lot of recognition in the past.
所以在这边这个句子，我们把逗号中间 which 带出来的这个句子拿掉，其实也是完整的。但是我们因为在书写，我们希望可以给读者更多的 information， 所以我们就会用这样子的写法去看。所以当各位在看这个的时候，也不要觉得太难，把它拿掉，确定你知道自己在看到什么样的句子意思之后，再放回去，你就会更清楚的了解它的故事背景。那再来 award-winning 这个字呢，就代表获奖无数的，它也是一个形容词，复合的形容词。
你别忘记这个就是 comma 的这个地方 which took 5 years to complete， 你一定要放在对的地方。对，就比如说你现在在解释这个 series， 所以你才会用
放在它的后面，就代表我是要补充说明我前面的这个东西，位置很重要。
对，不要乱放。Okay. Each episode consists of related subplots, but the protagonist and the perspective in each is different.
那在剧中每一集都包含了相关的支线剧情，但主要的人物跟视角观点呢，都彼此不一样。
Right, so we also learned was made up of or composed of. This is another way to say it. Consists of. Okay, so each episode is made up of. 还是 each episode is composed of. 那这个只是另外一个方式. So we taught you 3 different ways.
对啊。
Consists of, okay, or includes related subplots. So usually a story has a main plot. Okay, 主要
剧情
Right, but subplots are ones that are not the main plots, but they're still important, but not as important. Okay, but they're all related, they're all connected. And who is the protagonist? Protagonist is the main character. Okay, and the perspective in each of these subplots is different. So perspective is like from where you see the story or where one sees the story. Minnie also might see the story from her own perspective. I will see it from my own perspective. Another way we might say that is point of view. Okay, or we can also say POV. Okay.
Yeah, 所以老师刚刚讲了好多。我们在这边看到第3个，我们这一课学到第3个组成就是 consists of。再来 related subplot， 这个 sub sub 通常看到都是附加的，或者是替代的，例如像代课老师。
Yes.
Substitute.
所
以就有看到这个 subway， 这个好像有点在底下的意思。
对，底下的意思。
对，所以看到 subplot 就代表它不是主要，它是次要的分支的剧情。plot 这个字也很重要，尤其是如果你喜欢看电视的话哦。然后再来这个很难念的字
protagonist，
就代表你是有点像 main character， 从你的主角的这个观感去看。所以我们刚刚老师有讲 POV point of view， 就在这边。
Right. Under Yang's direction, the show presents a number of magical moments through the eyes of kids living in the area.
那在杨导这个导演的这的支筒下，整个剧集透过居住该处的孩童的眼中，呈现了一些magical moment 魔幻的时刻。
Yes, so the show presents these things. That means that it gives these things or it offers these things. And when we say a number of something, we mean like 许多 or 很多, okay? A number of, I'm going to give Minnie a number of compliments for her look today.
Thank you.
It means I'm going to give her many compliments on her look today. Okay, 就是许多的 a number of something. So the show gives a number of magical moments. So not just one, not just two, but several magical moments.
所以像 hundreds of 啊 thousands of 啊就是一样的意思，数以百计、数以千计的 number of 就是许多的意思。
Yes, from the perspective of kids, okay? But from the perspective of someone, we could also say through the eyes of someone. 就是透过他们眼睛去看这个世界。
That's pretty romantic.
Okay? And these kids are living in the area. 这些小孩子住在那个周围，这个区域。Okay? However, to discover exactly what magic means in this long-awaited series, you'll need to dive into the world of the magician on the Skywalk and find out for yourself.
又出现一个我很喜欢的片语 dive into something. 所以这个句子在这边讲的是不过想发现这部期待已久的电视剧魔法又有出现这个 quotation, 对不对？所以他这边说你要去发掘它的魔法在哪里呢？你就得自身 dive in 投入在天桥上的魔术师这一个剧的世界中，然后好好亲自探索一番。
Right, so long awaited, this adjective means that it's something that everyone is waiting for.
期待已久，拍了5年耶。
Right, and another thing that we might say is highly anticipated.
Okay? 被高度期待的。
Yes, HIGHLY hyphen anticipated, ANTICIPATED, highly anticipated series, and dive into something. That means like, 全力进去，然后 dive into the world of 这个书的这个故事的世界。Find out for yourself is you have to read it or watch it yourself to be able to experience this.
Okay? I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait either. Let's do the review. right, Minnie 老师, if I say that I am very convincing, what do I mean?
就代表你很有说服力。
And what is a landmark of a city?
那就代表像台北101是台北的地标。
Okay, and when something is made up of something, what do we mean?
Made up of 就是组成。
And we also say later, consist of something.
也是组成。Yes. 还有老师补充的 compose.
Compose of. Okay, composed of. Okay. What do I mean by when I say, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
那就代表你第一个想到的是什么，出现在你脑海里的是什么。
And when we say that we are recreating something, what do we mean?
那代表我们在重建什么东西。
Okay. Elements of someone or something.
什么东西的元素是什么
Okay. And on who is the protagonist of a story?
那就是谁是这个故事的主角，我们就会叫 protagonist.
So when we have a protagonist of a movie, we might see everything from his perspective.
他的观点。
Okay? And then if you want to see this movie, The Magician on the Skywalk, you'll probably dive into this world. What does that mean, dive into something?
就代表你投入很深入了解什么事情，我们就会说 dive into.
Exactly. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us the past 2 days, and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
第10页，影视娱乐，天桥上的魔术师。
The Magician on the Skywalk. The set, acting, and costumes create a convincing image of Taipei in the 1980s. The original Zhonghua Market was completed in 1961, and it quickly became a cultural landmark in the city. The complex was made up of 8 connected 3-story cement buildings, which were located along the current Zhonghua Road near Taipei's Ximending shopping area. From the 1960s through the 1980s, Zhonghua Market was the first place that came to mind for shopping in Taipei. However, the lively market was torn down in 1992 due to an urban renewal project. The art director of The Magician on the Skywalk, Wang Zhicheng, who worked on the box office hit Detention, is responsible for reconstructing the Zhonghua market. In addition to the magnificent set, the crew worked hard to recreate elements of the era, such as clothing, music, and consumer goods. The series, which took 5 years to complete, was directed by award-winning filmmaker Yang Ya-zhe. Each episode consists of related subplots, but the protagonist and the perspective in each is different. Under Yang's direction, the show presents a number of magical moments through the eyes of kids living in the area. However, to discover exactly what magic means in this long-awaited series, you'll need to dive into the world of The Magician on the Skywalk and find out for yourself.